Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SourceFED podcast. I am Matt Lieberman, and if you have not watched or listened to our previous episodes, I highly encourage you to do so. If you're new, welcome, welcome. Our show is available on YouTube on the SourceFED channel with full video. It's also available on SoundCloud and on iTunes as an audio podcast.
I'm gonna let you have your moment, but Rhett and Link had the best podcast of all time.
Thank you, Will. If you go to iTunes, rate and review the show. It's the best way to support us. Right now, we are the number 18 comedy podcast on iTunes. We're in the new and noteworthy section. Thank you for all of your support so far. But those ratings and reviews really, really help us out. It's how we attract sponsors to the show and keep it going. So go to iTunes, rate and review the show. It's quick, it's easy. It doesn't cost you a single solitary dime, Will.
I'm glad how transparent you were. Please rate the podcast so we can make money and still have jobs, please. We like having jobs.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's the straight up truth.
Yeah. So rate and review the show. We really appreciate it. Give a like and a comment on the YouTube page. And check out those previous episodes. Last week's episode with Joe Beretta. How great was that?
It was all right.
I think Beretta does it better.
I saw him the day before. If I hadn't seen him the day before, it would have been
very dramatic.
If I hadn't seen him literally the night before.
Yeah. So today on the show, we have a fantastic panel. Mr. William Haynes is here.
Hey, y'all, everybody. Earlier today, I thought about stop saying y'all, and I just said it again. Pew, 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 pew.
Maude Garrett is here.
I don't know how to make foghorn noises.
I gotta get that.
So it's like basically if someone's like, Maude, you can't ever have ice cream again.
That sounds like a drowning dog.
Well, what kind of ice cream?
I like rainbow.
Yeah. Oh, sherbet?
No, it's not sherbet. It's rainbow.
Rainbow sherbet?
Rainbow paddle pops.
That sounds good to me.
Powder pops.
I've never heard of that.
Paddle, like up the creek with the paddle without a paddle pop.
Oh, okay.
God, I'm such a foreigner.
It's okay. And of course, we have Whitney Moore here as well.
Hey, that's me.
She was in the B movie.
She was not in the B movie. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's everybody give out your Twitter handles for those people who are not familiar with you or listening on iTunes. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman.
I am at Jamaican Dictionary.
That's not true. You're at William Haynes on Twitter.
Mr.
William Haynes.
I am at Maude Garrett with 2 R's, 2 T's.
I'm at Tweetney Moore, like tweet, but it's Whitney and then Moore, like my last name, More.
Oh, I thought you were being clever, huh?
No, I'm not clever. Isn't that weird?
Oh, sorry.
You're just being punny.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being punny. Like, I know.
Everything right with being punny.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like 40% of all of my jokes are dad jokes.
I think that the best you can get from a pun isn't, I get it.
See, I have a rule with that. Puns, I don't like them. There are people like Lieberman, you might be a movie snob, TV snob. I'm a joke snob. I myself do puns, but...
Do.
It's for the teller's amusement. It's not for the other people.
If you put people put too much emphasis on their puns and they wait for you to laugh. Never wait for a laugh after a pun.
I don't want none unless you got puns, hon.
Whoa!
And then this. And then
One
this.
in pun. All right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I have a friend, my best friend. Oh, my God. Are we just doing this now? Are we just making faces? We're just waiting for a laugh that's never going to come?
See, if you were at...
Pun.
I feel like the same rule applies to references, too. If you're using a reference as a punchline and you wait for if you wait for a laugh, you don't deserve it.
You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I try not to write references ever, but it happens.
Shout out to those who are still referencing Austin Powers and old school.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Shag very well.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
You're my boy, Blue.
I don't get references ever. Like, I will get an Austin Powers reference. That's
Seriously,
all.
who throws a shoe?
Yeah, who throws a cupcake?
That's not what I meant for it to happen.
I just realized, is that a parody of when someone threw a shoe at George Bush? Or
No,
was that
it's
before that?
way before that.
That was way before
It's
that.
a parody of Odd Job, who was a Bond henchman who threw a hat that killed
Oh,
people.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah, who threw a bowler hat.
Who is the #1 character you're not allowed to play in multiplayer GoldenEye on the
Yes,
64?
because he's too short. He's a
Not
smaller
fair.
target. It's not fair.
I wish I was into that game. I remember all my friends were playing. I was like, I'm not good at this. I wish I was. I so wish I was good at that.
That's how I feel about Call of Duty. I wish I was really good
If
at
a
it.
genie came and he was like, you get 1,000 wishes. I mean, I got a couple, so that'd be one of them. I'd be like, I wish I was really good at GoldenEye.
1,000 wishes is too many wishes. I feel like by wish 200, you'd start wishing for dumb shit that's going to ruin the planet.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you can, and you know that you can unwish it later.
If you had 1,000 wishes, do you think you would waste a couple of them on dumb stuff?
Most of them.
Yes.
Most of them.
Yeah.
You'd be using them like every other day?
Well,
I wish this person would if the mouth would disappear, and then they'd be like, and I'd be like, I feel so bad. It feels great, 5 more seconds, and then I'll unwish it, 10 more seconds. Oh, look, they're still trying it, they can't breathe. Okay, I wish that never happened. You know?
there you go.
Wouldn't it suck if every time you said I wish, the thing you wished happened?
That's like a whole storyline in Buffy, isn't it?
That's like every Twilight Zone ever.
Yeah.
And there's a new movie from the Monty Python guys called Absolutely Anything.
They're still alive?
Most of them are still alive.
Wow, okay.
And it stars Simon Pegg, and it's basically a bunch of aliens.
Simon Pegg is still alive?
Yes.
What?
He's in his
Come
late
on.
30s. Or early 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah. So aliens grant him absolute power over the world.
Wow.
Anything that he wants or wishes, he can just make happen.
I believe they called this movie Bruce Almighty.
It basically is Bruce Almighty. It's Bruce Almighty meets The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because if they don't like his choices, they'll destroy the world.
And
It's
it's
an
British.
experiment. Yeah.
The number one thing that Simon Pegg would actually wish for, his number one wish, would be that the Star Wars prequels never existed.
Yeah, and that's a good wish. I hope that they do that in the movie.
Is it? Like, am I allowed to ask you if you like the Star Wars prequels?
I mean, you are allowed.
You're allowed to do that.
Do you like them?
Initially, I had my qualms about them, and then I watched them consecutively a couple of months ago, and I was cringing a lot.
Did you giggle once at Jar Jar Binks's?
Because I found him amusing?
Yeah.
No.
No, none of that was funny.
Not
to you.
even once.
Didn't he like jump in like the ocean or something and he like almost died? Didn't he almost drown or something?
No,
No,
because
because
his city,
he's aquatic. He can breathe
his
underwater.
city is underwater.
Yeah, that's what
So he has to
happened.
swim.
He does trip
deep
a lot.
to get in there.
It's okay. Well, I don't know anything about Star Wars either.
Really? I do know a bit about Star Wars. I have not seen the last one. All the other ones.
I'm not so crazy about
See,
the franchise.
I'm so glad you admitted that because there's so many nerd people who, because being a nerd is cool now, and they won't admit that they don't know something. I always admit I don't know. I don't know. Like
Most of the time, I think people will see right through you if you claim to know a lot about something that has a huge dedicated fan base.
Yeah, I love Starport.
Yeah.
yeah, Starport.
Yeah. I love Dungans.
Space Battles is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I loved Anna Kill Skywalkers.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
can we acknowledge that it's ridiculous for anyone at this point to be like, oh, you don't like the thing that I like, you must not know anything about nerd culture or
Exactly.
You
anything.
just
And yet
explained
it
the last
still
10 years of
happens.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we like vilifying people? You guys know they're like racist and homophobic people in the world, but we're mad at you don't like the movie I like, and you lose friendships because somebody doesn't know who Qui-Gon Jinn is. Like, God.
Well, people are afraid to be their own person when they're younger, and I feel like now more than ever, like when you're young, you feel like a collection of like your likes on Facebook, like the things that you like, that's like a badge of honor, or the things that you tumble
Totally,
or
yeah.
whatever. And it's just like, I'm a Whovian, I'm a Star Wars fan. This is what I am. I'm these things instead of saying I am Jeff.
Yeah. I actually just had a conversation.
Jeff.
Yeah,
I had a
poor
conversation
Jeff.
about it just
There
like
is no Jeff.
I was referencing a movie, which is the number one thing you told me not to do.
No, you can reference. I think in
Such a rebel.
conversation, it's cool. But I feel like if you're writing something, try to keep it out.
Okay.
But I just had a conversation recently about like I was in film school for 3 years, and I noticed there are two kinds of film students: people who like making things and people who like talking about things. And I think that's kind of like how teenagers are. You either keep liking stuff or you like to make stuff. And I don't watch anything. I only make things.
Bottom line, I think if you make a hobby or interest into the cornerstone of your personality, you're a boring person.
I used to have a rule, and I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but it's something that I believed for a long time. Anyone who grows up to be an adult who still is crazy about horses but doesn't work with horses in any way is boring.
I'll let you have. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
I'll let them have horses.
Yeah?
I'll let them have horses. I feel like there's much worse things.
What if you're in your late 20s and you have a dedicated room for DC posters, another wall for video game posters, and another wall for Star Wars posters, and a Death Star bedspread?
Then you're Maude Garrett.
Is that okay then?
I think it's okay as long as you have any kind of underlying humanity outside of it, and I think you do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you do stuff and you have opinions outside.
make
You're not
stuff.
just like you said,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm a Whovian, that's what I am.
And you have a sense of humor
Yeah.
about yourself that isn't like self-deprecating. It isn't grounded in I hate myself. It's like, yeah, this is who I am. Some people won't get it, but fuck it, I'm me, and isn't that great? Or did
think-
I read you wrong entirely
so-
and you hate yourself?
I'm actually pretty good with that, surprisingly,
For
especially in LA. Yeah.
For those at home, there's nothing wrong with liking the things you like, but I think we want you to be yourself in you before you are the
Trying to
things
be
that
someone
you like.
else.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
things you like. I was like that up until recently.
Really?
Right.
You
Yeah.
thought you had to be the person that others expected you to be?
I was just very obsessed with characters, like anime characters and some like comic book characters. And I was like, I'm like Spider-Man. I'm like this. I'm like, then I don't know. I lost my heart, and I was like, I'm just me.
Yeah.
I'm nothing. That's when I became nothing.
I think that's
That's an
I had a-
existential crisis.
I had a wall. I just remembered. Oh my God. I had a wall filled with Spider-Man comics. I
Yeah.
just pinned them on the wall. Remember that, Darren, my old roommate? And then I got rid of all of them. I really liked this girl and she didn't like me anymore. I got sad and I took them all down. And I took everything off my walls and everything out of my room. And then I had nothing. And I was like, this is who I really am.
So you were reborn.
I totally
the
forgot
Phoenix
about
effect.
that. Yeah.
he's
I
a
Phoenixed
born
myself.
again Haynes.
Yeah. That was 2014.
Instead of Christianity, he found nothing.
I found nothingness.
I think
Yeah.
growing up, the biggest struggle is trying to define yourself. And so it's really easy to see a thing that you like and be like, okay, I'm that. I'm the guy that likes anime. And here's all my clothes and all my, weird mannerisms to prove it. Or I'm a person who just likes Star Wars. And I
Exactly.
can get really elitist about this because there are other people like
Yeah.
me. And that's a lot easier than just being like,
Yeah.
who
I have to
am
deal with
I?
who I
What
am
else,
today.
what else
Yeah.
am I?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference between wearing a shirt with a character on it or like Star Wars or something on it because you're like, this is a fucking cool shirt, and wearing it because I want people to see that I'm wearing this shirt so that we can start conversations. And I feel weird sometimes wearing, like, I have 2 Thaddeus J. Spider shirts, and I genuinely like those shirts.
They're your shirts.
They're
yeah.
my shirt, but I feel real weird about wearing it out because I feel like someone's gonna recognize it and be like, "Wow,
You're
Manlyman's wearing his own
Phil
shirt."
does it all the time. But like speaking of that, is like I think when people wear like their types of shirts, they're expressing themselves through their clothing. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on camera, but I often wear an all black. I forgot I was wearing this dumb chain. I wear this all black shirt often because it's nothing.
Yeah.
It symbolizes nothing. Louis C.K. does it. George Carlin does. They just wear. I don't know why they do it, but I wear it because it's literally nothing.
You know, if you made it a little bit higher on your neck, you would
It
have.
been
Steve Jobs turtleneck.
I was just telling Darren that I'm trying to bring the turtleneck back.
Maybe don't.
If somebody cool
In LA.
No, if somebody cool wore it, like if Kanye started wearing turtlenecks, everybody'd be like, okay, well, we got to start wearing turtlenecks.
No.
I think they would.
I think they would.
No.
I feel like
think people
Kanye at this point is a
which
parody
people?
of himself.
Which people will?
Kanye,
you
Kanye
know.
has a turtle's neck. But not
People,
a,
boys,
Boys?
Impressionable.
Boys?
impressionable people.
I guess,
boys
I mean,
trying to figure out who they are, but then identifying with someone else and only using them to express
Oh my
You're
their
God.
gonna create
Yeah.
turtleneck,
Did
guys.
I do that? Am
Yeah.
I
Oh my
technically?
God.
Am I wearing Louis C.K. instead of wearing a Star Wars shirt? Am I wearing a Louis C.K. shirt?
you kind of are. You
That's
kind of
not blank
admitted
at
to it.
all. That
Do
is
you wear that
identifying.
shirt because you like that shirt, or do you wear that
like
shirt?
it.
Okay.
I like it because it's nothingness.
Then there you go. As long
Is
as
it
it's all
nothing?
about. Is it?
Is it nothing at all?
Is it a
It's
shirt about nothing?
everything.
but it does still symbolize something.
Guys, this
It
is
does.
getting really deep.
I thought we were a comedy podcast. Fart.
You don't have to do
Well,
that.
I really agree with what you said though about not wearing shirts that advertise a specific culture because I feel like to a certain extent they're designed to make you approachable or have like a jumping off point for conversation. Whereas I can just say the things that I like loudly with my mouth, and if someone likes it, they can join in. But I don't need clothes to tell people what I like.
I'm very into putting blockades in front of myself. Like I often, which I think I'm gonna end soon, is I don't use curse words in my comedy because I feel like that adds to it. Like I try to wear very blank things because I feel like I want to know that I did it on hard mode. I did it on hard mode.
You did it on your own terms.
I did it on my own terms.
That's interesting. Like, have you ever considered like wearing your references and wearing your fandoms on your sleeve as kind of like a cheat code?
It is a
for
cheat
life?
code. That's what I always said about comedy. I said cursing is a cheat code in comedy. That's why I didn't use it. I used to just not curse in general, but I say it all the time, just not in my jokes that I write.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think even making references and wearing shirts like that it's a really easy way to get people to identify with you, I guess. So maybe it's not a bad thing, but it is definitely cheating.
Maude has a lot of clothes with things.
I have a permanent thing.
Yeah, you do have a permanent.
Yeah, you have a
thing, huh?
Triforce on your finger,
In
on your
my-
fingy.
I got a tattoo, but do you know, I think it goes deeper for me.
But yeah, you genuinely like this.
I planned
Yeah.
this tattoo when I was 16.
Yeah,
So that was a
it's fulfilling a childhood dream.
long time ago, people. It was supposed to be on my foot, and then I moved it to my finger. But it breaks it down. It stands for power, courage, and wisdom. And only when you combine all power, the power and the courage and wisdom together do you get the Triforce. And that's what I take away from it.
People often confuse power with courage. They're different.
They are like, for that, I think you can't have, for me, you can't just have one. And you
People
can't have
also
one without the
often
other.
confuse Zelda with Link.
Damn, you so smart, Maude. You almost like a Hermione ass woman.
You've got a bit of dirt on your nose, right there.
Oh, don't do that anymore.
Maude, I have a question for you, and
Yay.
this is the most obvious segue ever. So you and Whitney, you're both relatively new to SourceFED, but you're also relatively new to the country. You've been here about a year,
Two and a half.
2.5 years. What prompted the move from Australia to the U.S.?
Danger.
Yeah, I woke up and there was a snake in my bed. No.
Well, it's like you guys have all of the dangerous animals, but then you also have no guns. And what was the other thing we were talking about before
Beer
the
on
show?
Fridays. Drinks on Fridays.
Oh, yeah. In a
Oh, yeah.
workplace, we clock off work early on a Friday afternoon so that the workplace can provide alcohol that everyone drinks while not working.
Wait,
That's
everywhere?
A
Yeah,
goddamn
Everywhere in
utopia.
Australia, every workplace.
Yeah.
On Friday, you guys just all drink.
Like from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you go to a communal area and there's just alcohol and
What's the
everyone
age?
drinks.
The age for drinking an alcohol?
18. So you can drink at 18.
See, I feel like when the countries give it to the kids younger, their people are more mature because they're like, oh, well, I don't need it. And people over here are like, man, I want that now. Why can't I have it? And
My
then they-
favorite thing is I could just barely hear Ricky on the way other side of the room when she said 18. He was like, 18, wow.
Can you imagine if you had been legally drinking since you were 18?
Well, I don't have to.
I've never met anyone that was like, I'm gonna wait until I'm 21 to drink. No, I have one friend. She did. Then she had a white Russian at a bowling alley. I missed that friend. Who waits in America? Who waits?
My brother,
He did?
he waited until he was 21.
To have a drink.
He did not want to. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to try it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know I didn't either, but
Well,
that's
he's
not
like,
man,
he
I'm
works for the
interested in it.
government now. He's like, he was just a big stickler. He likes rules, and he likes following rules. So that's just who he was. But you didn't get to finish, Maude, why you moved.
I got a job
Okay.
for an Australian company, but it was a radio show based out of Hollywood, and I would just interview celebrities and do red carpets.
What was that like?
Well, it was a full-time job where I worked maybe 7 hours a week, and I got flown around the world just to talk to celebrities and watch a movie and just sit with them for 5 minutes. It's terrible. It was awful. Oh.
SourceFED doesn't fly me nowhere.
They flew to New York twice.
Twice in 2 weeks, and I sat in a hotel the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, that's your fault. You got to get out there and carpe diem, man.
I'm afraid of people, so I have an issue. Oh, I'm sorry, that was too deep.
That's okay.
Yeah, everyone just stopped talking.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to handle this.
I've often wondered, like, I think later in life I want to leave the United States. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't generally like it here.
Hold on, isn't it something like a whopping 90% of all Americans don't own a passport or haven't?
What?
I had to get a passport, yeah.
90%? That can't be right.
Something sky
No.
sky
seems
high,
crazy.
and like they just have never left the country. Have you guys been outside of America?
I went to
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
because of this job one time, and I had to get a passport.
Another time they flew you.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Surfboard.
I've been to Canada, Mexico, the Virgin Islands, and Japan.
Cool.
And Japan
went to
was,
Japan?
Yeah, it was the best.
The one place I wanna
really
go.
want to go back.
I would go
live
back
there.
too.
Yeah.
I feel like I belong. The crazy stuff they come up with is just right up my alley.
Plus, everyone is so nice. Everyone's
In
really
Canada?
accommodating. Well, yes, in Canada, but also in Japan.
I bet they'd be
Everyone's
afraid
so-
of me. I bet they'd be
No, they
afraid
love
of me.
you.
I come
Well,
over
they
there,
love black
you wearing
people
this
there.
chain? Nah, they're terrified. Like,
They take
hey,
pictures
everybody.
with you.
I'd be like, I would too.
Yeah.
Tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, 6
all
feet
right,
tall.
all right. I looked it up.
Super Saiyan.
I looked it up. The percentage of Americans who have a valid passport, according to the most recent statistics from January of 2014, is about 46% of Americans
They have a
a
passport.
valid passport as
Wait,
of the beginning of
Wow.
last year.
And you're-
So less than half.
Less than half.
Okay.
Where you're from, everybody has one?
Well, usually the mentality is in Australia, once you finish high school, you get out there and you explore the world. And I think it is because we're so far removed from everywhere and we are an island. We want to see what else is out there. We're more likely to leave the country than to explore our own country.
America is such a big country. We really
But
should
it's
be
the
like
same
4
size
different
as
countries.
Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we really should be like 4 different countries.
I'm all
Like,
for California seceding.
yeah, we really should. Texas, get out of here. If anybody watches from Texas, love you, but get out of here. Texas is different. Texas is way different.
You're
Texas
courting controversy.
is another place.
Yeah.
I remember was I talking to you about this? My brother lives in Texas, and he told me, and here in California, marijuana, everybody has marijuana. Walk down the street, you can see people smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
That was such a trip for me when I first
yeah,
came over here.
but-
I was like,
Yeah,
I
people
can
have
smell
weed.
it. Can you smell that?
Yes,
Oh
everywhere
my
you go.
God.
Why
Everywhere
would you
On the
ever go
street.
to a bar when you can go to a store and get candy that gets you high?
Exactly. But but here, guns. If you have a gun in California, people are like, what the hell? But in Texas, the
If
people
you
are like,
don't have a gun.
weed? You don't have a gun? Like, it's different. Texas is the opposite.
It's a
of
very
California.
different place.
Yeah.
I want to someday, like my dream in like 35, 40 years is like retire from whatever like job I have, if I still have one, and just move to New Zealand, somewhere
New
near
Zealand's beautiful.
somewhere near the coast,
Yeah.
and just like live in a little house, make a video once a week, write a book, go to sleep. Like that's
Write a book.
Go be in
and
Lord
go
of the
to and go to
Rings.
sleep forever.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Research, I think it's Waiheke Island.
Oh,
which-
Waikiki?
No, not Waikiki, which is in
Waiheke.
Hawaii. It's like Waiheke Island, which is a very, very small little island that you can only get to via a boat or a ferry. And it's got a giant winery on it. And so it's just receding, like beautiful rolling hills. It's all
I
coastal
found
around
it. It's
it.
WAIHEK.
It's so
Oh my
beautiful.
god.
Yeah.
Look at
That's
that.
where you want to retire. You're welcome. For all your travel needs, just give me a bell.
You could do so many things. You could do that.
Can we get a paper towel?
What are you, Sam? That's a Sam move.
such a
You got
Sam move.
so excited that
I
you just
know.
spilled the water everywhere. Is your phone
That's why I
alright?
keep it down there, Ricky. That's why I keep it on the board.
Where's the rice?
It's actually probably the
Oh, it
best
was
place that
Len.
you
It
could
was,
have
oh
spilled
no, I got it on your phone.
Yeah.
It's okay. Your
It's
phone's
okay. It's fine.
Your phone's safe.
You think Steve Jobs would put something on there that water doesn't break it these days,
You
right?
would think that.
What's
Hasn't
he up to?
Samsung been able
You'd
to
be
figure
wrong.
that out?
Where's Jobs been?
Dan.
Oh. What? What if I didn't know that?
Oh, I thought you didn't know that.
No, I
And was like,
definitely
that's-
did know.
Who's going to break it
I'm
to
so-
him? Steve
I'm-
Irwin's gone as well, buddy.
I know. I was very sad about that.
That was my very first stand-up set of my life was like the day after he died. And
Steve Jobs or Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin, the
Damn.
crocodile hunter.
I
And
was in,
half
like,
my
elementary
half
school.
my set was about him dying.
Idiot.
It was about stingrays because I was like, that's something that we have to be afraid of now. Like we were afraid of so many other things.
Yeah,
And
sharks, spiders,
exactly.
snakes.
This man, I saw a video on Reddit of him and his crew went to this huge building that was had run by rats. Like literally hundreds of thousands of rats. There'd be like boxes in the building. He'd be like, "Oh, let's look in this." Pull it over. Rats just going out for 10
Oh,
minutes.
no.
Just rats. That man was insane.
Have you heard the joke about trying to get Steve Irwin to find Al Qaeda and all of that? Because it's like,
He would've.
no matter where he goes, he's like, we're looking for the most rare snake. There's only about 4 in the world. Oh, look, there it is.
Oh my God. He would have been like, "We're gonna try to find Osama bin Laden. Already got him. Look at him. He's squamming." Oh my God. He would have
Rest
found
in
him
peace, Steve.
immediately.
I've missed.
Well, do you know what a rat king is?
Oh, it's when
Oh.
all those rats.
Yes.
Is that a real thing? I thought that was just
Totally
on
real.
30
Steve
Rock.
told
I
me-
thought that was fake.
Steve told me about that, and I was
Totally
What is
grossed
it?
out.
thing.
What is
so
it?
it's when a nest of rats become joined at the tail by like shit and dirt and like whatever, and so it's just like a big
It's so
cluster
gross.
of rats.
Yeah.
Google that
And it's
and
called
show
a
it
rat.
to Google it and show it to Mom.
No.
I'm just going to show it to you real quick, Mon.
Okay.
And it'll be a dead one
this is
because
like
I Googled it too. It'll be a dead one. You won't find a real, like an alive
A
one.
live rat king.
No.
This was like the cane toad that I like. Everyone's like, oh, Australia's got the worst animals. I'm like,
Oh!
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I don't want to look at it. I'm not looking at it.
It's so bad.
Oh, man.
And like,
what
there's
a rat
like
king
2
is.
cute.
You have the worst
cartoons,
natural
too.
animals. We're just so gross that our pollution has created a new animal.
That right there.
Woo!
What a nightmare that is.
Woo! All running in different directions.
So they're just shat so much that it's joined them to get. That's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
rank,
rat
guys.
king.
Just
Why would
shitting
you-
in a tight space.
Whitney, why would you bring this up? You know you didn't
Because you were
have
talking
to.
about rats.
You didn't have
And
to
I-
say
that's the
that.
There are a
only
bunch
thing
of
I know
other
about rats.
like
I'm not
really
gonna
funny
sleep.
animated
my only
pictures
rat
of
fact.
like
It's the
rats
only
with
rat fact.
crowns.
One
But
rack back.
Hold on. Can they rip their tail off trying to escape, or are they just
Oh, they
join?
Yeah,
might.
they regenerate.
They regenerate. Do they?
The smart ones
What
get
kind of
out.
Dragon Ball Z kind of
That's kinda
Cell
weird.
versus Piccolo?
all right.
Can we get rid of that picture?
Yes, we can. And that brings us to our first segment of today's show. Whitney Moore's segment, How to Be a Person.
Cool. I didn't know it was first.
Oh, yeah, you're first.
Okay, I was thinking about what I wanted for my topic and about how last year I moved into my own place and, you know, I feel like most of my life I've been really self-assured, but as an adult, it's like, holy shit, am I doing everything wrong? How do I clean up this bug I just squished? Like, how do I be an adult? So I wanted to open the table up to talk about how we can be people. And something I learned last week, I'll start with, is Clorox wipes solve everything.
Oh my God, they're
Literally
amazing.
They're amazing.
Everything.
Where were they at? What did we do before Clorox?
You would
went?
spray and then wipe it down with
And
a
you'd
towel.
be pissed.
Do you guys have spray and wipe?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the best name for a product.
Oh no, I thought you meant like just sprays
No,
and
there's
things to
something
wipe it
called
with.
spray and wipe.
Well,
And they always have like the catchy jingle.
What is
So thank you. Ajax spray and wipe. Ding, 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 ding.
ding, ding, ding.
We have Ajax, but not Ajax spray and wipe.
Spray and wipe. So you
I
spray
just-
it and you wipe.
I think Clorox wipes solve most of life's problems.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They wouldn't have got if you had soda in that instead of water. We would have used that to get the soda sugar off of your
That's
phone.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I've found like as much as you hate doing it, you will always feel better when you have a clean space. And you're gonna watch Netflix anyway. So like put on your Netflix, but just don't be on your couch. Do the thing that you're doing that you need to do
See,
while you're watching.
My issue is I always put on stand-up. I'll like, oh, what's this stand-up album I haven't heard? And I'll start listening to it, and I'll be cleaning up, and I'll be like, ha, ha, ha. And then I'm like, that's a good joke. I got to write that down right now. Halfway through cleaning my room, writing a joke. I'm tired now. I got to go to sleep. Wake up the next day. Oh, I'm still here. So, yeah.
My rule to get, or my little life hack to do chores is just find something that you would rather do less. So for example, if you've got tax to do, or if you have to write a letter, or if you've got to, I mean, for me, it's just this visa stuff. But if there's something that you just don't want to do at all, in half an hour, your room will be clean. You'll procrastinate so much that everything else will be spotless. And then once you've done everything, that's when you'll get to the task that you're avoiding the most.
I like
That's
that.
That's a
good.
good idea. Yeah. If there's something you don't want to do, pick the thing that you want to do just a little bit more than that.
That's
Not
less
something you
shit.
really want to do, but something else shitty that you want to do just a little bit more.
I don't do anything. I got so many emails that I read and just I want to respond to and I can't. Like I know I need to go to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor since I was born. I popped out and I'm like, I'm never going back. And I'm like, okay, time to sign up. I texted my mom, can you send me my healthcare information? She did. I just left it there. I remember I've been on the website so many times. Like,
Do you feel like anything's wrong?
my brain wasn't wired correctly.
So it's another existential crisis, though.
Everything
has
is for me.
several every
Everything
day.
is for me.
Okay.
Two more
self-aware.
things. One, get a car. If you drive car with Bluetooth, I make all my phone calls in the car.
Yeah.
Always in the car, because then I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to waste any of my real time by talking to people.
Remember when people's phones used to have minutes?
Yeah, that was
That
crazy.
just came to my mind.
That was a dumb thing we used to have to deal with.
You better not have minutes, man.
Yeah. And another thing that my friend Bill told me about that's been helping him out, and it's been helping me out lately too.
How is Bill?
Bill is great.
Good, good.
Bill
His
is
girlfriend?
great.
His girlfriend?
His girlfriend's still in New York. But you know they're dealing with it. He went out there to see her, and it's very, very nice.
I don't
She
really
looks
know
great with
Bill. Do
Ben.
I
you
have
know
no,
Bill?
I have no
Okay,
idea
yeah.
who Bill is.
Bill's one of my best
Why don't you
friends.
ask a question about Bill, Whitney? Ask about Bill.
I just can't talk about Bill anymore because.
Oh, 'cause of the thing.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
thing.
Yeah.
Sorry
So,
about that, yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Sorry about that.
He said you should try to have a morning routine that has nothing to do with anything else in your life. Every morning, and his is excessive. Every morning he wakes up at 6 a.m.
Oof.
It performs BDSM.
No, he'll throw on Daily Show or the Nightly Show or Bill Maher, something like that, and he has a bad back.
So he's a liberal.
So yeah, so he'll roll out on a back roller while watching that show. He'll make himself a bulletproof coffee.
So good.
He'll meditate for like 20 minutes. Then he'll go for a
Okay,
run.
I don't understand morning meditation. Why don't you just sleep in?
Because Maude, it's different.
Why would
I don't
you
know,
wake up just to relax again?
Because it like gets
Press
me
the snooze
centered and
button.
energized. Versus I've been doing the snooze button, and I'll tell you, Maude, it makes me miserable.
They also read that on no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Forgot the guy's
So
name.
close,
Sorry.
so close. I
Damn.
saw it
Damn.
circulating.
Jerry Seinfeld.
So
Never
Olympia
mind.
Dukakis. Yeah.
Damn, never mind. I messed up.
That's all right.
That's all right, buddy.
I've got two more things.
two more.
On how to be a person. One is I read this in a book forever ago, and it just stuck with me. To listen twice as much as you talk. and to try to listen to the end of someone's sentence, because I get so excited when I talk to people. I'm like, oh, I have a story that's relevant, right? I want to insert my opinion. But if you listen to the end of someone's sentence, you totally come off as not an asshole, which is great.
There's some people I know that are very good about that. It's you, Maude, and my other friend Lee, who can always have a response. How do you guys always have a response?
I was just about to interrupt you 3 times while you were saying that, just to be like, I do exactly that, which is in making the point that you're making, that people do exactly that. Now, look, you're like,
now we don't know when to talk. I don't want to
yeah, now we're all self-conscious. I need to get better at listening. Listening twice as much as you talk is very, very smart. And I feel like that's how I was when I was a teenager, when I was afraid to talk. Now I like talking way too much.
Me too. I was afraid to talk when I was a kid, too. Yeah. I was very silent. People talk about it here all the time. They talk about when I was an intern, I never said anything. Mm-hmm. Just like, why would you? Why would you? There's so much fun in listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's when you pick up who people are.
Yeah. But then I found nothingness, and now I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter what I say. I can knock stuff over and break stuff.
Please
I love this nihilist Will.
Breaking stuff? Oh, my God.
There's nothing more
Let me tell you about breaking stuff.
Sometimes you just want to wake up. Everybody sucks.
Yeah. But
Limp Bizkit.
I love that you know that. I do.
Do you know the joy in building something beautiful and then breaking it?
Yeah, actually.
It's amazing.
Legos.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Like, I made a poster that we sold here at FHP, and as soon as I made that poster, I was like, I want to rip this so bad. So
where is that destructive nature coming from? Do we want to talk about that a little bit? Or?
Well, my father never played catch with me because he had me at the age of 36.
Destroy him! You had one more point, though, Whitney.
Yes. Feed your damn self. I learned that living alone, that I would just go days and like be so lazy or like just sad a day and be like, oh, I haven't like looked at the clock, have not eaten for 12 hours. What am I doing? Mm-hmm. Oh, my mind is melting now, so I guess I'll like order a pizza or something and then eat a pizza. So guys, go to the grocery store, plan what you're gonna eat, and then eat it. It's gonna make your life so much better.
I go to the grocery store maybe once a week, only to buy pie. Only thing I buy there. I have not bought groceries this year. Guaranteed.
Does this extend to savory pies, like chicken pot pies?
No.
Apple pies.
Apple pies, sweet pies. That's when you're real sad, when you sit in your nothingness pool and you're like, I need a little pick me up. The sugar inside these pies are so good for you. So good.
You need to watch the documentary Fed Up. It will scare the shit out of you.
Really? Do I need to eat healthy?
You need to eat less sugar.
You're like a fat man in a little boy.
I know it's so good.
I go long periods without eating, but when I do eat, I eat so much.
Can we talk about that? How do you go a long time without eating? I'm the kind of person where even if I'm not hungry at all, I'm like, it's lunchtime.
Time to eat.
Yeah. Therefore, I should be eating lunch.
You really like being alive, huh?
I'm exactly like you.
Yeah, dinner time. Ooh, what can I have at dinner? I'm not hungry.
My girlfriend yesterday, she was like, I haven't eaten since this morning. This morning I only had like an apple and some peanut butter. I'm like, how can you possibly forget? It's like all I think about. Yeah. As soon as I'm done with a meal, I start counting down to the next meal. It's how I got fat in the first place.
Food is literally all I think about.
I have a thing. I make a lot of videos and stuff, and I know when I start making a video, I do not get hungry until the second I'm done.
Really?
Like whenever I come in here on the weekend, until the second I like save, and I'm like, oh my God.
And you're famished.
And I'm famished.
Yeah.
I'm famished.
I wish I had that level of focus, but I never have.
I was like, what happens if I take, what's that one drug where you focus on? Adderall. If I was on Adderall, oh my God.
You would starve to death.
I would starve to death. It'd be like that movie Limitless where he's like, I gotta do all this.
The roof.
Yeah. I need to write a best-selling novel while shooting hoops.
So Matt, as a response or as a countermeasure or whatever, I'm sure what I'm trying to say. From eating the way we do you notice when people don't eat?
It bothers me when people don't eat.
I have like a hyper alertness to people that don't eat.
Yeah.
Whenever people come to my place, I'm offering drinks, I'm offering food. Can I fix you something? Can I make you something? I got some of this black bean pasta. Can I make it?
I'm not hungry.
Are you sure?
I only do that when I'm trying to get them to be my girlfriend. Everybody else, I'm like, you can
fend for yourself.
There is a refrigerator. One of my roommates has one of those things you pour bad water in and it makes it good water. I don't use that.
You mean a filter?
Yeah. Whatever you call those things.
I like the bad water versus the good water, though.
Is that not what it does?
Put him in the arena. Fight! The good water always wins.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. The bad water always loses.
Reference? Don't know it.
You don't know the Harlem Globetrotters?
I know who they are.
All the flips and stuff?
So the Washington
Scooby-Doo. They were an episode of Scooby-Doo.
So they're the fake basketball players who do all the stunt basketball.
Oh my God! Just appeared to me. They're not in the NBA.
No,
They do not actually play basketball.
No, they only play the Washington Generals. They only play
And they
one
always
team,
win.
And they always win.
It's a show.
Yeah. That never occurred to you?
God damn. Where are they now?
Oh my God. All right, this brings us to the next segment of our show. Are we all done? Did we have any more?
Yeah, I did want to tell Maude, because she was talking about this, that there are certain workaholic friends that I have that are like, yeah, I slept like 2 hours last night and I haven't eaten anything in 2 days. And I'm like, how are you alive?
Yeah.
How? Are you not a mad person right now?
Do they have it so much that their body just completely adapts? Because if you do something for 3 months, you form a habit, and you can break habits and make habits within a 3-month span. So if you're having a diet or whatever, or if you're taking out gluten or whatever it is, you have to do it for 3 months, 90 days. So if they're doing this consistently for 90 days, can you then train your body to only operate on 2 hours sleep?
I don't know.
No,
It cannot be
no.
good for you.
I've read that you cannot train yourself to get less
You
sleep.
need
you
8
always
hours.
need. That's what I read. Unless you've heard otherwise, you can't.
No, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But you can convince yourself
can
that
convince
you
yourself.
got more sleep.
Well,
than you
there's
did.
that weird method, the like Da Vinci method of sleep, where you sleep 15 minutes every 2 hours.
That's weird.
Oh, is that what he did to get more stuff done?
Exactly. Because if you do that for long enough, you go crazy for about 2 weeks, and then your body recognizes that this is the only time it will get sleep. So when you go to sleep, you jump immediately into deep sleep.
That's all I want. All I want is that. All I want to do is I want to live alone, and I want to live in a place where I can make anything I want, and I want to make it all day long and never be asleep, except for a little bit, and then I'm back up.
If you could build your like dream little hideaway place, where would you put it?
Where?
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I make a little island in the water too, so people can get to me, and I get a boat and I go back to the regular city when I need to get a pie, because
They have one. It's a jail.
it's a jail. I want to
Yeah.
be near that jail.
I want to be in Alcatraz. You want to turn Alcatraz into your own
Hell yeah.
private will
That'd be
compound.
so cool.
I'm from
Yeah.
the Bay Area, and I've never once been to Alcatraz.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to
Where are you
Azkaban.
from?
San Jose?
Oh, that's far. I'm from Richmond. That's
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I don't know where that is.
It's not a good place to be.
You got more of a clue than me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you
where
know,
Richmond
right
is.
around the bag.
All the bag.
All the bag?
Bag.
Yeah.
I
All
wish
right.
I
This brings us to our next segment, Firsts with Maude
Yes.
Garrett.
Alrighty. I want to try and tap into everyone's first times
Oh, boy.
with things. It's not going to be too scary.
Okay.
But let's start off. We'll do around the table. And so if you want to dwell on it, you certainly can. But otherwise, we'll just kind of pass the buck around. We'll kick it off with, Will's getting real clingy.
Yeah.
and
I
needy.
wasn't sure if that was a
Just
hole or a
little bit.
mole. It's a mole.
It's a homo.
Hole.
So we'll go to Whitney first. What is the first book that you finished to only realize that you wanted to read it again? Have
Oh.
you ever had that?
Wind Up Bird Chronicle by Murakami.
Oof.
It's really, really good for anyone who is watching or listening, or you guys, if you like real, like, what's the genre called? Realistic fantasy or something. This guy,
Oh, magical realism?
yeah, magical realism. Thank you.
Wow.
He basically writes really, really immersive, wonderful settings and really good characters. Not a lot happens. I like boring stories that are character-driven, that don't have a lot of action in them.
Me too. I enjoy
Yeah.
those sometimes as well.
Yeah, but he just puts this little tinge of magic and like fantasy on it that makes it really weird, and it's awesome.
Are you saying it's like the real world, but there's also something slightly magical to it?
Yeah,
That's
like
a wonderful idea.
What's
Yeah.
that book called? I want to write it down.
The Wind Up Bird?
The Wind Up Bird Chronicle.
Or Bird Chronicle. The girl that I dated right before my girlfriend, like the kind of like gap girl, I guess, between.
What do we call it? 3? 4?
Well,
That's me.
Bad.
I'm that
that's like
guy.
that's bad, and I feel bad now. But
I'm everybody's gap.
right.
I'm everybody's gap.
the girl
for
that like I
sure.
dated for 2 months before I met my girlfriend, she was obsessed with Murakami books, and
They're
she was
good.
gonna lend me one until she realized I didn't want to be with her forever.
I
bad
just
news.
realized I'm somebody's gap.
No.
I'm most people's
Hey,
gap.
we're all
buddy.
somebody's gap at some point. That's
Yeah.
that's
Hey,
the great thing.
But I still cuddled you, so who won here? Who won here now?
You colored her?
I cuddled you.
oh, cuddle.
Cuddled.
I cuddled
had
you,
colored
so-
I was like,
you.
I had a few different potential definitions for
I
that.
colored her.
Can we hear those?
One, he actually drew on her with some kind of colored implement. 2, as a black man, he
He inserted
added color
color.
to her if she
nothing.
was not. And 3, if they had sex, again, that same second thing, but now in a sexual connotation.
Is that more like truffle butter?
Oh.
I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know what that is.
I know. I'm surprised you said truffle butter because you're the first person to get grossed out by stuff.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
I'm not excited.
When I hear truffle butter, I think butter with truffle salt.
Oh
in it.
no.
Yeah,
Or
no.
truffle
Don't
oil.
do it.
Don't tell him.
This
Don't tell him.
conversation over.
Okay.
It
Don't do
ruined truffle stuff, and I love truffle anything.
When you get a moment to yourself, go on Urban Dictionary, type in truffle
I
butter.
think what I'm doing is I was defiled by that information, so now I want to destroy
I'm
everyone
looking it
else
up
with me.
now.
I'm taking out all the innocence in the room
I did
because
the
mine
same
was
thing.
stolen.
I wanted to do a video about this, but they didn't
Okay,
let me.
well-
It's too gross.
While Matt's
when
figuring out-
you write truffle into Google, it comes up truffle butter, truffle butter sexually.
Okay, well, while you figure that out, do you have a book
picked the
that you've
third.
read that you had to
Oh, yeah.
read again straight away?
I've never read a book twice. I've always gotten the information, and I'm like, I'm good.
Okay.
I liked.
I'm sorry.
No, it's just the title of this article is Truffle Butter and 4 Other Disgusting Sex Acts.
Oh, what are the other?
I don't know. It's on Bro Bible. I feel gross being Bro Bible.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time there's the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It's like a bunch of different.
Oh, that's so
learned.
great.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Funny. Oh, should I say what it is?
No.
Should they figure it out
Everyone
themselves?
They should figure it out
They should figure it out
themselves.
themselves.
It should be their decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to know what it means, go
Yeah.
ahead.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Don't be forced to learn what truffle butter is.
But as I was saying, the
That's
Adventures.
what felching is?
Yeah.
What's felch?
I don't know.
Felching is the act of...
No, stop. Will tell me. Munting?
Felching is...
Oh!
I learned about
I wasn't. How do you read that? fast?
felching through a Chuck Palahniuk book, Invisible Monsters. I went through like when Fight Club came out, like everybody did.
That
I went
can't
through
be
a
real.
Chuck Palahniuk phase, and they describe in great detail. Maud's gonna puke. What felching is?
If I had to think back, the first book that I ever wanted to read immediately again after finishing reading it, it was probably one of the Redwall books. I was obsessed with that series. Did any of you guys ever read those books when you were young? Redwall, Brian Jakes. It was like medieval warfare. It was like Game of Thrones with no
cool.
sex,
Oh, that sounds
with no
super
sex,
nerdy.
and instead of people, it's all little woodland creatures. It's like mice and voles and rabbits and badgers fighting against rats and stoats and weasels
Yes,
and
I know
foxes.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know which one, but like I was obsessed with those books and I'd read them over and over and over and over again. I loved them.
Mine's Harry Potter.
Oh, can
Oh,
I
really?
wait? Can I extend my answer to comic books?
Yes.
Okay, because I have one, not the first one, but the one that I will still continue to read all the time is a comic book called Asterios Polyp by David Mazzucchelli.
I don't like the word
Oh
Polyp.
man, he did Batman Year One.
Yeah, and he's great. And this is he totally did a departure from comic book, from like superhero stories, and wrote this amazing novel-length book about this guy who was an architect who lost his wife and started again, but it's all intertwined with this Greek mythology, and it's really layered and complex and amazing. So every time I read it, it's like something
Do
new.
you read comics now or like more like graphic novels?
Right now I'm reading a lot of comics because Image is putting out a lot of really good shit.
I need to find somebody that reads Spider-Man comics because I got a lot of complaints about those and nobody else.
Sam?
See, he doesn't read Spider-Man. He reads like the Flash.
He reads Spider-Gwen.
You have the whole
Does he
internet
really?
that you can talk to about this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just tweet about it? I'm sure people want to talk to you.
Because then they'll send me spoilers. I hate spoilers.
Oh
But if
yeah.
you
They'll
read 'em.
assume I've already read it. and I'm
Reviewing
like,
TV,
"No."
that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I know. That's why like a lot of the stuff I don't talk about because I just want it to be for me. Because I'm not caught up on anything ever. So
All right, Whitney, the first character that you had a crush on.
Ooh, probably a tie between the animated series Batman and
he's smooth.
yeah, and Link, but also
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
cartoon characters.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, you asked animated. Okay, good.
I didn't realize
Not a
that.
freak.
The animated Batman is probably the smoothest Batman.
Yeah, oh my
Christian Bale
God.
Batman is still kind of like, he might be crazy.
Animated
Yeah.
Batman's a badass.
Yeah. Did you ever see World's Finest, the first crossover with Superman in the animated series? He comes in
Oh,
and he
yeah.
sweeps Lois Lane off her feet
Immediately.
In seconds.
Yeah.
Immediately. I remember
I
that. I
love
didn't know you seen
Mario.
that too. Yeah.
Also, sort of a similar character is Robin Hood from the Disney movie Robin Hood.
Oh, the Fox one?
Yeah.
He's
I
smooth.
don't know why.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a lot of them.
For me, I mean, it's not a cartoon. It's Arwen from the first Lord of the Rings, as portrayed by Liv
That was
Tyler.
your first crush?
Who?
First, like fictional crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I can
wasn't
remember.
that long ago.
Who? It was
Liv
2001.
Tyler's
It was 14 years ago.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I guess I don't know. I had my first like real crush when I was 5, and she's all I thought about for like a long time.
Who was that?
Her name was Erica. I was in kindergarten. She was like a super tall redhead. She was like an Amazon woman, and I was obsessed with her. And I would chase her home. I would chase her home every day after school. I was like
You
a
still
little.
think
I was
about
a
her?
little creep. No, I did. I used to think about her all the time till she moved away, and she was real cruel about it.
Did she know that you were following her home, or were you being
I
secret?
wasn't following her. I was like loud and like yelling at her. I was like, it was like, notice me. That was like basically my mantra. And the parents thought that it was really, really cute and really sweet. And poor Erica, she had to put up with it because she would like. Her mom would be like, oh, come on, give him like a little kiss on the cheek. It's so cute. And like I didn't see in her body language how little she wanted to do that. And I remember first grade, I got her some fake diamond earrings at the school holiday store for Hanukkah. And I went up to her front door and to give them to her as a gift. She looked at them like they were turds.
Oh,
She
Hold on,
was
so you bypassed girl germ phase completely.
what?
You bypassed the girl germs phase?
Girl gems?
Germs.
Germs.
Like you girls are gross.
Oh yeah, no, I never had that.
Yeah.
I liked girls
I
immediately.
didn't like girls until I think it was the last day of 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah, and I found out I was in love with this girl. I remember I've always been like this, even till today. I was sitting in history class. It was like at the end of the school year because nobody was doing anything. He was going through a divorce. He kept showing us Forrest Gump a whole bunch of times. And I was sitting there, and I was like, and the girl that I liked, I don't know if I should say her name, but she was sitting in front of me, I think, or maybe to the left a little bit. And I was like, I like her. And I just immediately told her, I was like, hey, I'm in love with you. And she was like, ew. And they'd already assumed that I was, and I didn't realize I was. And I just kept telling her I was in love with her. And then we went to 9th grade, and like you, one day I was like, I like you a lot. I'm going to make sure you get home safely because we live in the ghetto. So I followed her home. And I was like, all right, bye. In my head, I was like 14, so I was like, oh, I did a good service.
Yeah, I did a good thing.
I was in no way gonna harm her. I'm the harmless. She could blow a wind at me and my body will fall apart. I'm a very skinny man. I have no strength behind me. And all the kids were like, you followed her home? I was like, yeah, I want her to be okay.
Aww.
And I was stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like people take it differently. Like when you're a little kid, it's like, oh, it's harmless because I didn't follow her.
Mm-hmm.
I just ran after her screaming, "Love me!" like literally.
Mm-hmm. Boys are like that.
Boys are like that. It's just once we know what we want, we just want it.
Because society never tells us that we can't have anything we don't want.
When did you guys have your first crushes?
Oh, I was the first one in my elementary school with a boyfriend.
I was the same.
Yes,
you
way to
two.
go.
Yeah, we went to a movie together and he bought me a Tamagotchi.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's an
wow,
expensive
that's like high
gift.
rolling.
And I was
Whoa.
like, it was in a turmoil in my head. I wanted to kiss him on the cheek to say thank you, but I couldn't even do that. I was freaking out. I was 11.
That's cute.
Mm.
I was in kindergarten, so I brought a game that my sisters and I would play with our friends at home called Kissy Monster, where it was tag with kisses. And so I introduced all my girlfriends at school to that, and then everyone started kissing all the boys. And that's how I got my boyfriend in kindergarten.
What was his name?
His name was Alex. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Al.
Hey.
But we dated up until the 2nd grade, and I dumped his ass, and then it became a running
Long-term
joke.
relationship.
I know, right?
I remember all in middle school, all the kids started, and the girls were into it for some reason. They're like, ah, you're so funny. They'd all slap each other on the butt. I never did it because I was like, I don't want to slap anybody. So I never
a
got
violent
that.
act.
And that's how, they all started liking each other. And I was
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Do you, now that you sometimes with women get intimate, do you slap on the behind?
Hell no. I couldn't hit
You're
anybody.
afraid?
Do it
I'm
right now.
afraid.
Do it.
I
Do
could
it.
not.
Do
I
it right
couldn't
now.
do this.
Yeah.
Maud is
This is
asking
bothering
you
me.
to do it.
I could not do
She
it.
would
even
like
do it
you
if
to
a
do
lady
so.
asked?
in my trunk so it won't hurt so much.
I don't think so.
Please.
Woo.
Yeah.
You
Aw.
so
Oh, come
bad.
on. Get in there.
You so bad, Christian Grey.
How is it,
That
Maude?
is fun. I'm gonna admit.
Right?
I'm gonna
Isn't it
admit.
great? It's
Oh my
great.
God, that's okay.
Hey,
Yes.
Will, that didn't hurt
I mean,
at all.
granted, it's okay
Wait,
once
hold
you
on.
get consent from your partner.
Do that to me.
That
yeah.
didn't. I'll do it. I'll do it. How hard you hit me? Okay. So
right.
safety first. Okay, you want to go harder?
Yeah. It's kind of great, right?
Will just doing this.
It's not the first time that would have happened from my hand. Anyway,
Oh my
my
God.
first crush, I was about 5 years old and I couldn't differentiate between if I was supposed to have a crush on a guy or a girl. So when I watched The Little Mermaid for the first time, I had a crush on Ariel and Eric.
At the same time.
I was like, they're both beautiful.
You can have them both if you want.
But, well, they're not real, so I can't.
I mean, but
then
there are these things called cosplayers.
But then I also had a crush on Michelangelo, who's not even... He's not even human. He's not even an animal.
Read Alabama Hot
teenage-
Pocket.
Jesus. No! Oh! No!
I love that there's a
that's
photo.
a creative genius
Someone did
right
a
there.
drawing for reference.
Someone did a drawing for reference.
There's a stick
Oh my God!
And then they
do
had sex
not,
after?
do not look up Alabama Hot Pocket.
That might be one of the worst I've seen so
That's-
far.
How do you even drop that in a conversation? Hey, babe, I know we've been together for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, how much are you willing to expand your horizons?
Yeah.
Would you
and
like
your
to take a
legs?
trip down to Alabama? Oh, no. No, I'm talking about a metaphorical trip to Alabama.
Oh well, that's better than real.
I want a
Alabama.
hot in your pocket.
Oh boy.
Oh,
What
they
was-
call it a hot pocket because it's like a pocket.
Yeah.
and
Ew.
it comes
Don't
out hot.
tell them. Don't tell them.
Well,
It's so
I want to
bad.
tell you something because you just got a piece of advice about spanking butts.
Yeah.
And I want to say, and I think this is important, that you shouldn't ask. If you're already, no, hear me out. If
No,
you're
no.
already being intimate with someone,
You should
don't
just
ask
go
because
for it.
that removes all of the power. Can I
I am
can
the
I smack
king
your
of
butt, please?
asking.
Can
Is
I
it
smack your
okay?
butt? Is it okay? No, because that's the point is that you're already being rough stuff.
I have
I would
never.
check in though after, like
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after, see what their response is.
Was that
It-
okay that
yeah.
I did that? Yeah.
Every
Hey, did
girl-
you like it?
every
no,
No?
if
girl-
not, you'll know.
Every girl I have ever kissed, I have asked first. I have
I
asked first.
hate that.
I know. They hate it. They hate it. I just.
Read the
I
signs.
know, I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
If
Didn't
she's
you know?
looking at your mouth when you're saying goodbye to
I
her.
didn't know.
Oh
I didn't know.
my God.
Or the even worse is not kissing and then getting a text. Oh, I wish that I kissed you just then.
That is a puss.
worst.
I wouldn't even text that. I just wait. I just wait.
No, you just hate yourself
I
and buy
hate
a
myself.
pie.
I would go back home. You were very right. I'd tell Darren about it. He'd be like, Darren would straight up be like, man, you messed up. Should have just kissed her. I would have kissed her. But Darren's a handsome goddess man, so he can do whatever he wants.
It's true.
I could kiss a girl and she'd be like, wait, weren't we just hanging out as friends? But I thought, weren't we? And then it's bad.
You need like cliff notes when you're dating.
I do. I don't
Wow.
understand signals. I do always tell girls that. I was like, if you're gonna make signals at things, you gotta have to
Yeah.
realize I'm what they call an idiot. So I don't know what you gotta tell me directly.
Well, you need to wear an earpiece on your next date, and then we'll all sit in on these microphones and give
Yeah,
you
and tell me
advice.
what to do. I also have a GoPro right on my forehead.
Perfect. With a live stream. Here,
You won't notice.
We're running low on time. Let's do a couple more firsts.
I've just got one more first. And
all
what
right.
was the first test that you ever failed, Whitney?
I'm gonna say I got pretty good grades throughout.
You look
middle
like you did.
school.
Yeah.
No, not in high school though, because then I discovered punk rock.
I thought you were gonna
and
say
metal.
pot. Then I discovered
and also
pot.
and
Discovered
also
pot.
boys. There's a lot happening. First test I failed. I don't know, probably a math test.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say freshman year, 8th grade. Sounds about right.
You got an F before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh hell.
And
yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there were ones before the one that I'm thinking
You were a
about.
class clown, but not in all the classes. Just some of the classes.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Really?
I wasn't because
I was.
So again, Erica Epps. Not saying her last name.
Erica Epstein.
No,
Epstein.
no. She's getting married.
Oh, not anymore. Because she's going to come back here
No,
wanting
thanks.
to finish that business that you started all
Nope.
those years ago.
No, she moved away like after 4th grade, and I went up to say goodbye to her, and she just shut me down in like the most public and embarrassing way, telling,
You know what? You
yelling
have to
for.
get the hint. You
Yeah.
never got the hint.
I never took the hint because I didn't know what hints were, and I'd always been bullied. And I'd gotten a lot of negative reinforcement, but they were always from people that I didn't care about. And this is the first time someone whose opinion whose approval I wanted said that I was disgusting and that they hated me.
Yeah, I know that.
And so I just shut up for like 5 years straight and just watched people and just tried to figure out, like reverse engineer how to be a person.
Yeah, that's how you learn comedy, I think. like we're kind of a mirror to the rest of society because we watched and tried to understand.
Yeah.
So that's what comedy is.
I probably failed my first test in 5th grade.
Oh yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I probably failed my first test in 5th grade. I didn't know how to study because I was a smart little kid, so I was able to remember stuff. And then when tests got harder, I didn't get better at taking them for a while.
I was always pretty good at tests. Like I always got like the end of the year test. I always did really well, but I didn't get exceptionally well grades because I never did homework. All my teachers would write to my mom and be like, very good at tests and does all this, but is like very like blank spaced. I remember one teacher said I was arrogant in 2nd grade. I'll never forget you, Miss Sakan. You changed my
grade?
2nd grade,
Oh my
already
God.
arrogant. I mean, but yeah. So, but what I do remember every time I think of tests in school, I remember this one friend, Jose Esquivel of Richmond, California. He was like, he texted me during a test, and he was like, what's the answer to number 2? I was like, what's this? What's the answer to number 6? It's this. And what's the answer to number 12? This. And then we got our test back the next day, and he got a better grade on me than I did because I gave him the answers, and I realized. Cheaters always prosper.
That's not the truth. All right.
Most of the time.
Did you have one?
I failed Japanese in grade 8 because I just discovered Harry Potter.
You took Japanese in the 8th grade?
At my prestigious all-girls school that I went to, you had to either take French and German, and Japanese was mandatory.
That's
Wow.
so cool.
Yeah, and I still remember some Japanese, but no, not really any German. I can say I've got one black dog in German, but I can have like, hajimemashite, hatashi no namae wa Maude desu, 3歳です, 8年生です.
私は海賊王
Ashkoki.
Genki desu ka?
オレナスコーリ
Rena Skuri. Ashkoki. Yeah.
Hush puppies.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Oh, there's so many good questions.
I know there's so much more, and we're gonna get to it on next week's show. So, folks, if you enjoyed this episode of the SourceFED podcast, if you are watching us live on YouTube, give us a like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends, and also be sure to go to iTunes, rate and review the show. It is the easiest, fastest way for you to support us and make sure that this podcast goes way into the future. We're trying to get great sponsors and great guests for you, and that is the best way for them to realize, hey, this is a quality show that people love. Even if you watch it on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes. It helps boost us up in the rankings and helps new people find our stuff, and we really appreciate it.
I want to have a job in 6 months, please.
Please!
Please.
Please!
I'm trying real hard to keep my job.
And we're making it sound real dire, but it's not.
But low key.
Yeah.
He's a good
Oh my God. You with those glasses is hysterical. Will, where can the people find you?
You can
online?
find me at Maude Garrett at 2 T's.
All right.
And 2 R's.
And 2 R's. Maude.
I'm Mr. William Hayes. God damn!
Whoa.
And where can we find you on Twitter? Crying with pie in your mouth?
But that apple pie, that's got the no sugar.
Why is he suddenly
Southern?
Whitney, where can people find you?
Tweet me more.
Tweet me more on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Oh, and
Google me.
This weekend on the channels, we got People Be Like, we got bloopers, we have an awesome Mad Max Fury Road sketch that's
Yes.
coming out today on SourceFED Nerd.
I
Check
vomit
that out.
everywhere on myself.
Yes. So go check that out. If you're not already subscribed to SourceFED Nerd, and Super Panic Frenzy, you should go do that right
And
now.
my personal YouTube channel.
Yes, and to Will's channel, and
William
only
Haynes
Will's.
TV.
All right.
None of y'all.
Yeah.
I said y'all again.
Y'all.
Yeah.
And you wondered why I sounded like I was from the South. Y'all.
I don't say y'all.
All right.
I'm out of this podcast.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.